Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Arsenal 2, Cska Moscow 2, and we go through into the Europa League and we see who we're gonna get on Thursday. So let's crack on, let's get on and let's get into it, man. Going into the game, we know what's at stake. I know what happened in the game, and we'll get onto that later, but on paper, CSK need to score 3, it's 4-1, put ourselves in a good position. It's now down to us to go out there against CSK, be professional, pardon me guys, be professional, have a professional job, and just get the job done. Simply, there's nothing more to be said. We're at the business end of the season, domestically and European. We need to do this. You've seen the giant killings that were happening in the champs. Avoid the current trend and them things there, and just do the job. So yeah, man, Europa League is all our eggs in that one basket. So we know what we need to do. Going into the game, in regards to the lineups, there weren't really much to be said. Cska missed out in regards to whether he's being rested or he's ill with the flu, allegedly. I don't know if that's an actual true claim, because Wenger's always saying people were ill. A certain Mesut Ozil. There was no Reece Nelson, not even on the bench. I'm so sure he travelled to Russia. Nice to see Eddie on the bench. Who else? Cska, nice to see he started. Someone I've spoken about wanting to personally win the Europa League. And yeah, Wilshere, I can't lie, I love the guy, and I've told you guys on a couple times, I don't think in the last 3-4 games he's not been putting in good performances. And if it wasn't for Cska not travelling, he probably wouldn't have started, in my humble opinion, because the others in Ramsey, Onene, and Cska have been performing better than him. But yeah, first 10 minutes for me, extremely boring, like extremely hard to watch, extremely boring. The current trend of the first half has to be, we'll get onto the goals later, but just no real quality. We're giving the ball away. I'm seeing Bellerin give it away, Wells give it away, Ozil, Ramsey, Wilsh, Koscielny and Mustafi. Between them, they're having a competition as to see you can actually... Sorry, guys, a little bit... yeah, you know when you just want to make sure something's 30. Yeah, man, between them, seeing who could give the ball away the most. Like, Cska just kicking it into nowhere. There's no real quality, and we look laxed, we look lethargic, we look like we're still sleeping. Dare I say, I know Wenger and the players spoke about it, but there's a serious element of complacency. And the current trend, Roma went and done a madness. Hell, at this current moment, I believe... Marseille were doing a madness. You're seeing giant killings. Juventus very unlucky against Real Madrid. So we need to avoid all of that. The only grace at this moment, yeah, is that I personally, I think if you're a CSK fan in that first half, you had a better first half, but up until they scored, and we'll get onto that. But up until the point I'm referring to, the only benefit is that Cska hasn't conceded, or Cska's not being tested, because we're not doing a madness. Our defenders are doing nonsense. Our midfielders aren't really there. Ramsey and Ozil are trying, but it's not really there. If the defenders and midfielders ain't involved, how can the strikers really and truly have a good game? Not that I believe Lacazette in particular had a good game, to be honest with you. Like, and what I couldn't understand is, why was there no... I'm not saying you have to pour forward, run forward and stuff. There's no need. It's 4-1. But I couldn't get the emphasis on just getting that one. Silencing the crowd. The away goal thing that I believe should be abolished in the Premier League. I mean, in the Champions League, sorry. It still exists. So if we score, we silence them early on. Then you lot can do your lethargic play and things. We know it's Arsenal, so we always knew we were going to make it hard for ourselves. But yeah, man. The thing that sums it up is the 34th minute or something. Ramsey, we broke. Decisions to his left, decisions to his right. And someone that I believe was one of the better players, but was still below par. Wrong decision, and it just sums up how we were playing. Like, a lot of players out there had several decisions to make and just kept electing for the wrong one. Personally, don't feel in particular we tested Akinvev the whole game enough, to be honest. We saw that he's a bit shaky. He had the best home game in the first half, to be honest with you. I give Cech credit because he made a good save in the 38th minute. But other than that, if I'm honest, they deserve to go in behind, go into the break in the lead, to be honest, because they're playing better than us. They're on crud. We're not doing nothing. Like, we're actually moving nonsense. We're lethargic, like I said. It's a poor goal to concede, generally speaking, throughout the whole team. If I'm completely honest. But either way, their Donny scores. It's 1-0 to them, and yeah, second half. 49th minute or so, they get a second. What is going on at this club? Like, what is going on at this moment? And they get a second, they get another one, a third, sorry. Real question marks have to be asked. And I can't lie, I was scared. Like, I was scared. At half-time, I was thinking lethargic, complacency, really don't want to try and cement the job. Just not showing any real quality in the field and them sort of things there. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you, folks. I'm dreading the worst at this current moment in time. Like, yeah, and then they go and get the second. Cech, who made a good save in the first half. Terrible goalkeeping. Terrible. Terrible. In fact, even the first goal we conceded. Wait, I'm so sure it was the first. Yeah, the first goal we conceded. People are sleeping. Like Koscielny's sleeping, Mustafi's sleeping. Like people are sleeping. People are appealing for offsides. The second goal's not that much better. Chet parries it. Now, good to get the save, but it's an appalling save, and he's done this several times. It's spilt. I don't want to say it's a difficult finish, but it's a harder finish than some tappings have been. He slots it home and it's 2-0. And like I said, one more, they do it. I can't lie, I'm nervy at this point, people. When it's 2-0 to them, I'm nervy because, like I said, you're seeing the Romans, you're seeing Juventus come within inches. The current trend is looking mad gazy for us as a football club. I'm shook. There was one time, I think it was Golovkin or whoever, Czech made a save, but there was one in the second half. But there was one, it whistled past the near post. I was shook. Welbs stepped up. I felt Welbs was one of the players. I'm not going to gas it. Everyone was poor, but he was putting himself around, putting himself about. Eventually, they don't take their chances. We eventually do. Nice play between El Nene, who woke up in the second half, along with Mesut Ozil, Ramsey. We started to, I'd say 60th minute, we started to play some sort of football, to be honest with you. And actually have, first half, we had a couple incidences, but collectively in the second half, we started to play football, in my opinion. Lovely ball from El Nene for Welbs. And what's great about Welbs, it won't be spoken about, but he started that himself. He slots it home. Probably the cleanest finish I've seen Welbs score in a while, or definitely since he's been at this club, to be honest with you. Clean finish. We get our away goal and the thing is done from then. Later on, obviously, Ramsey, I felt he should have passed. And if you missed, there would have been some, you're my guy, but there would have been some serious question marks asked. He slots it in. It's 2-2. Ultimately, we do a little Italian job, but a Russian job. We deserved to lose that game. We were really below par. We just did enough, and we get 2 away goals to not lose over 2 legs against them. Considering the second leg, sorry, how it could have been. There's not much more to be said. All we can do now is look to Friday and see who we get. Like, you can't underestimate teams, and this is exactly what I told you lot with CSK. You can't just assume because it's 4-1 and they need to score 3, we can do it. Atrocious defending, atrocious in possession today throughout the whole side collectively. Like I said, some man stepped up in the second half and ultimately got us out of jail, but it just was not a good enough performance. And under different circumstances, when we don't have a comfortable first leg lead, let's just say that was 0-0 or something, we can't, because ultimately the fact is it wasn't, but question marks would have been asked. But anyways, man, that's my review anyways. Like I said, Arsenal 2, CSK Moscow 2, and we advance in the Europa League. I'm out, guys.